Hi guys, so I decided I'm going to do a book review of this book. As you know, I'm doing an audiobook challenge where I listen to a different audiobook every day throughout the whole of April, and I can't believe how impactful this challenge has been. I'm someone that's always been into books. I've always done book reviews and that sort of thing, but this has been really powerful because the books I've been listening to, I mean, I'm trying to do a top 5, but it's just become ridiculous because there's so many good books, and that's why I want to talk about this book now. This is the best book so far that I've listened to on this challenge, but also just in my life. That's how powerful I think it is. Now, I've literally taken so many notes and I've put 14 different points. Now, this is a 9-hour audiobook, so as you can appreciate, there's loads to listen to. So I'm not going to go through every point in detail, but I'm going to try and talk to you about the book. So it's called The Power of Habit. It talks about keystone habits. This is where you should change only one habit at a time, because that will snowball and lead into other habits changing. So if you change your eating habits, that's going to then affect you possibly being better with exercise. More exercise is then going to lead to better sleep. It's going to lead to you changing your diet. It's going to lead to you feeling better, looking better. So rather than you focusing on 10 different habits, I'm going to change my eating, I'm going to change my exercise, I'm going to change my sleep pattern, I'm going to start going to the gym. He says that when you do that, it diminishes the whole situation because it's too much, it's too overwhelming. So changing habits involves inserting a new routine to replace the negative one. So example in this book is about keeping a food diary, allows you to find patterns. So by keeping a food diary every day about the food you eat, you can then look back on the week and see what are your patterns. Do you eat at certain times? Do you eat certain foods on certain days? And then it allows you then to adjust your habits. So he gives lots of examples of different tools and methods you can use. So one example in the book is about this. It was given an example of in rural America, parts of America, there is a high rate of infant mortality. So there was lots of young girls that were getting pregnant at a young age, and then the death rate for the babies was high. So what they said is, rather than try to keep talking to children in those areas about contraception, they decided to look at what are the reasons that these babies were either being born prematurely or they were just dying. So what they discovered is it was because of the nutrition and the diet of the children that were getting pregnant. So what they said is, rather than just talking to these children about contraception, they would train teachers to talk to them about nutrition, and even before they engaged in sex or they got pregnant, they would be encouraging these children to build in young people nutritious diets. So once they incorporated habits of eating healthily, then when they did become pregnant, there was a better chance of those babies surviving or not being born prematurely. So what he talks about is, if you know that there's an issue, so you don't just look at the end result. So you can do this with addiction, with smoking, with anything you like. Think about a different approach to it. So start the habits before the problem exists. So if someone is susceptible to certain things like depression or certain things like obesity or addiction, you don't start once the problem hits. You start helping them with routines before it even becomes an issue. It's more deeper than that, but I'm trying to keep this short video. He talks about gambling issues, shopping, sleeping issues. They're all driven by powerful cravings. So if you can figure out what are the habits for these people, what is it that keeps the person going back to the casino, what is it that makes this person addicted to shopping, what is it that addicts them to drugs, then you can work on the habits with them. Habits have to be individual. You can't just say, well, if we close all the casinos at 10, then that means people can only gamble to a certain point. You need to look at what is it that drives that person at 1 a.m. to go to a casino, loses all their money, but then comes back the next morning and loses all their money again. There's something there, so you need to work on those. So it gave an example of this gambler, the woman. She lost $250,000 in one night of gambling. She lost $900,000 overall, her gambling career. She lost her house, her husband, everything. But what he said is she wasn't making conscious decisions. She even borrowed $120,000 from the casino. Then she won. This was at 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. in the morning. She won 5 times, but by 10 a.m. she'd lost everything. So what he's trying to say is that she wasn't acting consciously. This was beyond habit now. She was driven by such a craving that she didn't care what she lost, her house or anything. So what you have to do when you're in that addictive state is you need to treat quitting as an experiment. Each time you relapse, you analyse it, and you don't beat yourself up, but you say to yourself, why did I relapse? What was it about this time? When I lost the 4th time, when I was playing on the casino, why did I go back to number 5 again? So athletes and sportswomen, he talks about, they practice habits and routines for years, and that's what leads to their success in their game. So you need to recognise and identify your triggers. What is the reward? So to change your habit, if you've been smoking for like years, you're not going to listen to a doctor that says to you, if you continue to smoke, in 10 years' time, you're going to have lung cancer. Or if you've been eating and you're obese, you're not going to listen to someone saying, well, in the future, you could have illnesses like diabetes. You need to recognise, what is the reward I will have from changing my habit? If I stop smoking, my reward might be that I can exercise better. If I stop smoking, then it means my fingers are not going to have that yellow tobacco-y colour. It means that my clothes are not going to smell of cigarettes. It means that I can go to certain locations and I won't have to keep popping out for a cigarette. If I eat healthily, it means I'll be able to fit into my bikini. So it gives examples of people looking at rewards to change their habits. It also talks about, I could go on forever with this. It talks about tracking your habits because it's powerful. Once your habits become automatic, your brain doesn't have to work as hard. So it's something called a habit loop. And this is where, for me, habits are so important in my life. There's so many things I do automatically now. I know the minute it's coming up to a certain time, I start getting dinner ready. When I get out of bed, the first thing I do is splash some cold water on my face, have a cup of tea. While I'm having a cup of tea, I'm planning certain things, looking at my emails. It's automatic. Even when I'm on holiday, even when I'm not at my house, I still do the same routine because my brain doesn't have to think, my brain automatically knows. So it says if you can get yourself into a position where you make your habits automatic, your brain's going to work less hard than that. It talks about AA meetings and how they help people. They find out what the rewards are for these people. First, they have to identify what the people are getting from drinking alcohol. So it could be relaxation, it could be escape, it could be emotional release, escaping from forgetting something. Once they know what those triggers are, they then need to put something in place. So the AA meetings is a way for people to be able to express how they're feeling. They're able to get companionship. Creating a sponsor for someone means that they can go to that person who's going to, be their buddy when they feel like they're going to relapse. It talks about companies that, like Febreze, toothpaste companies, shampoo companies, they tap into people's habits and routines to sell them the products. The feeling of having suds in your shampoo, the feeling of clean, fresh furnishing leads people to keep coming back to those products. They're saying that things like soap suds in shampoo don't improve cleaning your hair. Things like the tingly feeling with the toothpaste does nothing for your teeth. It doesn't make them cleaner. But once people associate those things with having clean teeth, with having good furniture, etc., then they will keep coming back. So the final thing it talks about is this idea of there's nothing you can do if you get your habits right. There's nothing you can't do. You can just, it's just so powerful. And this book is, as I've said, I'll give it 10 out of 10. It talks about rats in a maze. It talks about experiments, that they can create this situation where if a rat is in a maze and they hear a meow sound, which they know is a cat, then they automatically know to avoid. If they hear the sound of a click, they create, a situation where they know that means food. And we can all and all that means is reward versus punishment. And we all do that with our habits, it says. So if we know that no one wants to go to the gym and work out and, feel tired and have to put the physical energy in because that is a punishment. But if your reward is after I come back from the gym, I'll get a smoothie. I'll treat myself to a smoothie. After I do 5 days at the gym, I'll treat myself to, I'll have a bikini body to go on holiday, then you're going to do it. So it says to change your habits, focus on the rewards. And I think I'll leave it there. This book is a fantastic book, The Power of Habit. It's by, I can't remember his name, Duhigg is the surname. I can't remember his first name, but it's a brilliant book. I've listened to the full audio book. I hope you found this book review useful. Please feel free to like, to share and to subscribe if you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Bye.